We're taking the data from every single game in the last 48 hours played in Masters Plus to bring you the most accurate and earliest read on the new meta. This is the latest patch 13.6, and almost every meta comp has been replaced due to large shifts in balancing. We'll go over what S tier comps to avoid, as well as the best performing comps in the new meta and how to climb with them. First off is the returning Watcher's Zeri reroll. This comp received numerous buffs, including improvements to 2 snipers, wardens, automata, and a Mumu. This is the board you're going to be on for most of the game, as you will be rolling at either 6 or 7 depending on who you're carrying. Commit to either Zeri and roll on 6, or Kog'Maw and roll on 7. Zeri is currently better in the stats right now, but this can change based off conditions like an artifact for Kog'Maw. These are the items you want to be looking for on Zeri. She must have a Rageblade as well as an IE. The third item can be another Rageblade or Gunblade. For Kog'Maw, he wants Rageblade, Archangels, and Gunblade. He can make do with a Shojin or blue buff over Rageblade, but he will always perform best with the Rageblade. After hitting your 3 stars, push to level 8 for your 6 Watchers. Your anomaly is going to be on Scar, so look for tank anomalies like Fortified or Giant Sized. If you have to take an anomaly for your backline, go for Mini-Me's or 1000 cuts for Zeri. Kog'Maw can also take 1000 cuts, as well as magic training. It's best to play towards this comp when you have an early Kog'Maw with strong slammable items like Rageblade, Archangels, Shojin, or Shiv. Artifacts help immensely, and you want to be looking for Gambler's Blade, Wit's End, Lich Bane, Mana Zane, or Zanya's Paradox. A Watcher +1, Firelight +1, or Anger Issues is also a clear sign to angle towards this comp. Next, we have the most prominent comp you'll see this patch, Family Reroll. This comp was buffed in every way, from massive Vander buffs to his armor, MR, and AD, to powder ability buffs. This is a board you want to be rolling at level 5. You want to be carrying Violet or Vander depending on your spot. Most times it'll be Violet, but with the gold augment gloves off, Vander will be your new carry. You want to 3-star all of these units, but don't be afraid to push levels if you're only waiting on Darius or Draven 3, as they aren't really pivotal to the comp success. You want to be playing towards this comp when you open with a lot of family units on stage 2 and 1. You also want strong combat augments like Artifacts, Family Crest, and even Welcome to the Playground in the right spots. The best Violet build is actually a crit build with IE, Hodge, and QSS, but often 3 gloves are difficult to acquire, so she's often just given the first Bruiser items you can make, such as BT, Hodge, Titans, QSS, Sterix, and Edge of Night. She performs extremely well with artifacts such as Silver Mirror Dawn, Mittens, Spectral Cutlass, Trenchcoat, and Death Defiance. Keep in mind that her build will alter slightly based on these artifacts. For instance, Titan's Resolve would have anti-synergy with Trenchcoat, and you would much rather have an Edge of Night instead. Powder wants your throwaway AP components, for the most part, unless you're playing towards uncommon variations like Ambusher +1 with Powder carry. To cap out, you just want to level and play all the pit fighters like Vi and Savika. Darius is often dropped as the Watcher trait becomes low value late game. The pit fighters will become your frontline instead. With the Vander augment, you want to do the opposite instead and cap out with all the Watchers. In this variation, you want BT, Hodge, and IE on Vander. Bruiser Twitch makes his return with buffs to Nunu, Twitch, and 2 snipers. Like in previous patches, you play all the Bruisers with Twitch as your backline. You want to angle this comp with the Bruiser emblem specifically, as the power of this comp lies in Bruiser Mundo. Just having a Bruiser +1 on a target dummy won't cut it. You want Rageblade, IE, and Red buff on your Twitch, but you can get away with different items over Red buff or IE if unobtainable in your game. You also want a source of Shred, either Last Whisper on your second sniper or even Shroud on Mundo. Last Whisper is a lot better. You always want Mundo and Twitch on your laboratory hexes, as they are your main carries and they want the buffs. The best anomalies are tank anomalies for Mundo like Deep Roots or Fortified. Cap out with Jace, Caitlyn, and Mordekaiser. On the same subject, the regular version of Twitch is also benefiting from the same buffs and is a strong comp to angle when win streaking with 80 items. Having the Econ augment also helps, as it's an expensive comp that relies on hitting multiple forecasts on level 8. The level 8 board looks like this and can have slight variations depending on what you hit. For instance, Mbessa or a lucky 5 cost like Mord or Jace can replace Vi or another unit. If you hit Warwick or have an experiment emblem on a strong unit like Elise or Vi, they want to be on the laboratory hex alongside Mundo and Twitch. If you have both, it's often correct to take Mundo off the hex. This comp really benefits off 5 costs, so cap out like this with Mord, Jace, Caitlyn, and Warwick. A surprising addition to the A tier is Ambusher Smeech. With 0 related buffs in the patch, it is somehow performing significantly better now. Often, the case for situations like this is that a comp that heavily countered it is out of the meta, or the comp itself counters the new meta. The latter seems to be the case here. With sniper related comps all rising to the top, Smeech has great counterplay as he dives into the backline, reducing sniper's effectiveness and takes out the squishy backliners. You want to angle this comp when you have an early Smeech, an Ambusher +1, or an artifact like Silver Mirror Dawn or Prowler's Claw. His best itemization wants to be Hodge, BT, and Titans. The Titans is your flex spot that can be replaced by Edge of Night, QSS, Sterix, or another artifact. You want to roll for Smeech on 7 or 8 depending on what you find on your roll down. If you hit units like Jinx or multiple Echoes and you're not close to hitting Smeech, we recommend rolling for him on 8 instead, as 3-cost odds don't change as much and you'll be sitting on a much stronger board. You'll also have higher odds to hit Jinx and multiple Echoes. Echo will be your duo carry, and he'll be taking care of your AP components with Spark, JG, Crown Guards, Rabadons, and Hodge. The best anomalies for Smeech are Cull of the Week, Last Chance, and Invisibility. To cap out, find Jinx for 5 Ambushers and play Ambusher Rumble over Powder if you have Ambusher +1. Previous S tier comps to avoid in the new patch are Urgot. This comp has been reduced to nothing, with severe buffs to Urgot as well as to Unleash the Beast. Do not angle this comp under any conditions. The 3 Rebel variation of the 6 Sword comp has fallen all the way to D tier and should be avoided. Instead, play the 4 Emissary variation, but note that it also has dropped down to B tier. 6 Scrap should be avoided unless playing from Win Streak or with Trait Tracker. That's your meta TFT rundown for this patch. We will be making in-depth videos on any new hidden comps that spring up in the stats. Follow us to stay updated and be the first to know about any new tech.